sat at our dining room table, and I was flipping through my older brother's textbook from high school, and I was terrified. I mean, I really did wonder what would become of me. I just sat there and thinking, I'm never going to be able to do this work. What am I going to do? And then I got into 6th grade, and I met a man named Constantine Christie. And there is no doubt in my mind that that man saved me. I came into 6th grade as one student and left as another. I came into 6th grade as one child and left as a completely different child. And he did that in a lot of ways. You know, first of all, he set the bar high for me. He didn't let me get away with anything. He handed me a book entitled Tales of a 4th Grade Nothing by Judy Blume. How many of you have heard of that book? Well, he handed me that book one day and he said, I want you to go home and read this. And I replied, why should I go home and read that? And he leaned forward and he looked me dead in the eye and he said, because I think you can. And I want you to try. So I went home that night because I would have done anything he'd asked me to, because he cared enough to ask me. And I learned 2 very important things that night. One, I could read a lot better than anybody thought I could. Here I was a 6th grader. I had never completed a book before, ever. The second thing I learned is I never knew you could see movies in your head from reading a book. Because they'd given me such easy books at school, you know, the kinds of books that use the same 25 words over and over and over. There was no story, so there was no movie in my head. And I remember closing that book, drawing my fingertips down the cover, and just being awestruck. So I read a whole bunch of books by Judy Blume that year. I read them, you know, Beverly Cleary, and then I found a book entitled Decay by Theodore Taylor. I thought the cover was beautiful, and I signed it out of the school library. It's the first book I remember signing out of the school library, and I probably read it 18 times.